Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Nick here, back with a brand new video. I hope that you crypto crusaders are doing absolutely fantastic today. It's extremely hot and humid here in Pennsylvania. I'm actually sweating while making this video. That's how hot it is. So it is a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to go walk a dog or anything, but it's also a beautiful day to be invested in crypto. So in my last video on XRP, I was a little bit late to upload it. Listen, I can't upload in full real time. I wish that I could, but listen, by the time that videos render, price action just changes drastically. We are in a volatile market. It's hard to get things up in real time, but everything on here I've already explained, but we didn't explain too much in terms of Hbar. I've talked about XRP, but let's talk about Hbar, right? So I'm not going to tell you guys about these support zones, resistance zones. I've already talked about it so many times. So we're not going to be really totally invested in talking about this too much. But I do want to stress the idea that everybody is so impatient on Hbar. I don't even understand why. Guys, why are we so impatient on something like Hbar? This is a huge project. This candle right here, this green candle, I'm actually going to change this to green because I'm so bullish on this one candle, and I'll go into why. Before Bitcoin started its thing, this is going back to May 13th. Go back to May 13th on Bitcoin, right? This is May 12th. We started falling down. Bitcoin fell really drastically on May 13th. But why didn't we fall back on the 12th? We did. We fell down a little bit on the 12th overall. If we look here, on the 12th here on Bitcoin, we fell as well, but it wasn't too much, right? We also pumped back up and closed a little bit above 56K, which brought Hbar, sorry, back up a little bit, right? Now, if we look here and go to Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin dominance is very important to acknowledge here as well. So 1 second. So let's go back to May 12th. So May 12th is when we were crashing in terms of Bitcoin dominance. But we see on the 13th, we came up and grabbed some more parabolic highs, if you will, on Bitcoin dominance. Because right now, Bitcoin dominance is looking pretty good for a little bit of a recovery state. And I mentioned that is why this relief rally is so important to analyze for Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, we were looking to fully break out. That's why I mentioned here, was about to break out before Bitcoin crashed. We were going to parabolic highs just like Matic. I mentioned how Matic and Hbar have very similar, trading charts, right? And a lot of people say it doesn't look similar at all. It's okay. Listen, you guys don't have to agree with me. At the end of the day, the charts look very similar, especially on a zoomed-in state, because I know Matic looks extremely different right now if you don't look at it on a zoomed-in state. But if we ignore this side, it was trading at a perfect breakout instinct. And I think at some point in time, once Bitcoin pretty much does its full recovery state, this thing is going to fly past its all-time high and go into price discovery. And we already know what happens in price discovery. This is a long-term hold for me. Very bullish and very incredible prices that we're seeing right here at 20 cents nearly. Undervalued to the T. I love this asset, and I will continue accumulating as long as people are still very frustrated with it. I love seeing people frustrated with it overall. So, I want to talk about my original price target, right? Because a lot of people are getting mad. A lot of people are pretty much saying, why do you think that we're going to these massive parabolic highs? I'll tell you why, right? So, first and foremost, let's go from our original price down here. 1 second, let me get the price range. So, let's go to the bottom of this candle. This is going to look a little crazy because we have to zoom out quite a bit, because $10 is quite a bit of a pump up. And I know a lot of people are going to say, hey, you're shilling hopium. I don't even care what people say at this point because I know what I hold. I've done the research. So I mentioned that my original, let me copy this and paste it 1 second, because I also want to show you guys some other ones. 1 second. So I mentioned before that some of my price targets on Hbar are 3 to 6 conservative and then $10 non-conservative. And I think that it could still go higher than $10. I'm just saying those are pretty good targets, right? Now, right now, if we pump to $10, it would be about almost a 5,000% increase in price. A lot of people say unrealistic. Totally fine. You don't have to think that it's realistic at all. Now, $3, in my opinion, is very conservative. Like I said, it's about a 1,355% increase in price. $6 as well, very conservative, which is roughly about a 2,800% increase in price. Now, where do these targets come from? Am I just saying them to say them? Absolutely not, right? So first and foremost, I do want to compare Hbar to Ethereum. This is coming from Documenting Hbar. If you guys don't follow him on Twitter, definitely do. This is actually from Hbar Tower as well. Follow them as well. So this is comparing Hbar to Ethereum. A lot of people say Ethereum 2.0 is going to kill Hbar. We already know Ethereum 2.0 is not due till the end of 2022. By that time, Hbar would have already achieved unlimited transactions per second due to sharding being implemented. So this is since 2019. Hbar has been around since July 2015 on Ethereum. DAG-based Hashgraph technology for the DLT, POS, proof of stake, and we also see proof of work. So we've already determined why proof of work is terrible. It's very low grade. A lot of these statistics we've already kind of looked into. I think the transactions per second is a little bit wrong on Ethereum. It's more like 15 plus, but it's totally fine. 3 to 5 seconds, 10 to 20. The fees are astronomically different. Total transactions, this is completely wrong now. It's about like 1.3 billion. I mean, at the end of the day, 500 plus dApps, I get it. 3,000 plus. Ethereum's been around forever. We're pretty much going to look to double that by 2025, most likely. Forkless, many, 245,000 plus accounts. Now it's like 275,000, sorry. 153 million. 200 or 500,000 times less than Ethereum for energy consumption. 49.6 billion kilowatts an hour per year, $118,000 plus estimated network cost, 1 billion plus. So when we're comparing it to Ethereum, we already know Ethereum's price point. We already know what Ethereum's cost is overall, and we already know what the price targets are for Ethereum. So I don't see why Hedera couldn't grab a portion of the Ethereum market cap, but also I just want to talk to you guys about the governing council. This is going to increase a lot overall. We see new members coming into this every single day. More and more are expanding every day as well on Hbar. But I just want to say, and I want to stress the idea that at the end of the day, when we're investing in something like Hbar, when we're investing in something like XRP, I talked about this in my XRP video a little bit, right? When we're investing in something like a sound project like Hbar, right? We're not talking about investing in a company like Microsoft or Apple where we're reliant on if their product is good or not. We're relying on if the project that we're investing in is going to change the world. If it has pure utility. Hbar offers massive amounts of utility, and the party's already kind of started, but it hasn't even begun yet, right? Right now, the invitations are getting sent out, and whoever wants to come can, pretty much join the party, right? Because right now, the price for Hbar is extremely undervalued for what it's doing, for what it is, and for what it will achieve. We're still in infancy stages for Hbar, and we're still in infancy stages for DLTs. I talked about this roughly in some of my, videos, but I mean, IBM, Google, standard banks, Shinhan Bank, there's going to be a lot more banks kind of signing on with Hbar. I talked about the, kind of correlation between ALBT and Hbar overall. I'm going to do a video on that actually as well and kind of compare and contrast and why they're both going to utilize each other. That's very interesting and very bullish, especially if you guys hold Hbar and also Alliance Block. We already know the Alliance Block partnership just happened recently, and that is a huge use case, right? So a lot of things are really good in terms of Hedera. We talked about roughly everything kind of increasing overall in terms of the market and also for the network. We talked about the network improving day by day. If we come here and look at the dashboard, right, this usually takes a little bit of time to load, but for the most part, things are increasing by the day. We see transaction volume here, right? If we come down here, this always takes a while to load. I don't know why, but it always does. But for the most part, if we come here and look at the daily transactions, right? We're doing about 4.6 million transactions per day, and we actually see that it's massively up since the 8th, which is yesterday. So we're doing incredible volume overall. Average transactions per second last day 53. Max transactions per second last day is about 70 roughly. And then we also see the hourly, right? 185,000 total transactions per hour. But that's not even the best part, right? We're seeing more and more accounts being created, more and more overall in terms of Hbar being accumulated as well. 275,000 total accounts, like I said. We see last month it was about 52,000 total created accounts, and this is growing every single day. I mean, look at this chart. I've talked about how this network is growing every single day. We also talked about more and more use cases becoming a part of Hedera. We see payments, we see tokenized assets, etc. Now, what I am very excited about in terms of Hedera is CBDCs, right? We know that it's going to be utilizing some sort of technology involving the CBDCs and the financial institution overall. The financial system will be utilizing Hbar. The idea that its scalability is going up to almost unlimited transactions per second pretty much tells us that banks will be choosing Hbar overall. Now, this is Hedera for enterprise use cases, right? Asset tokenization, track and trace, fraud mitigation, permissioned blockchain, identity and authentication, ERP, CRM, and EAM. Overall, business to business, we're going to see the scale, a lot of businesses. And at the end of the day, if you are a business and you wanted something to help you scale at a low cost rate, right? Say we'll take Walmart for an example. They want to scale. They want to scale so bad, but the problem is that they're paying right now $1 million to scale at, 25x currently, right? They go to Hedera Hashgraph. They talk about Hbar. They talk about building their network on Hedera. They want to run a node. Hedera says, listen, we could do 50 times scalability, and we can pretty much say that we're going to save you $500,000. Now, $500,000 when they're paying $1 million might not seem like a lot for you guys, but at the end of the day, these corporations, these businesses, they're greedy. If they could save $1 here, $1 there, they will pay astronomical amounts of money to do that. Not only that, but it generates a lot more revenue and income for Hedera Hashgraph utilizing Hbar on the distributed ledger overall. Now, I talked about this a little bit overall in terms of, enterprise grade use cases and stuff like that. We also see enterprise grade security, ABFT. I talked about the asynchronized Byzantine fault tolerance overall and why it's the highest grade of security and why that is massive for Hedera Hashgraph, because when banks and when enterprise use cases and businesses are looking to scale or build on Hedera, they want security. Hbar offers the highest amount of security at the most amount of scalability possible. So when I'm a business, when I want to scale, I'm looking for Hedera Hashgraph. I'm looking for Hbar. That is why Hbar is doing incredible things, right? We talked about it. Why could it reach $80 billion in terms of market cap at $10? Why? Why can it? Because it's going to help enterprise businesses, it's going to help financial institutions, it's going to help the banking system run at a scalability level that is unmatched by any other asset, including XRP, including XDC, any other asset like that. It's going to scale at a rapid pace. Anybody who is missing out on Hbar at these current levels has to hate money, or they just don't understand it. The best way that I could describe it is, listen, if you were a business and you are having trouble scaling, say for so, you're missing out on millions and millions of dollars a year because of scalability issues. Hbar solves that problem. Hbar comes in, says, hey, we could take your business that's doing 5x to 500x, because they could do unlimited transactions per second. They could do low-cost fees. And that is what businesses, that's what enterprise use cases, that's what financial systems, institutions, etc. want. They want scalability, low-cost fees. They want to save money to scale and make more money. That's what businesses want. They love the money, and at the end of the day, Hbar is offering them that. But we also see a ton of other use cases. When we look at payments, right, we look at all these use cases overall. I mean, right there's 3 use cases. We see who's utilizing these use cases. There's actually a website. I can actually find it real quick. Let me go to Twitter. So if we come here, if we go to I do know that he tweeted it out recently. I don't know who made it, but overall, I will give them a shout out as well. But it's talking about the overall use cases with Hedera, and there's a ton of them. So here it is. So Hbar to the moon. If we click this and we go to this, we can see all the use cases, 87 and counting. This has the most amount of utility so far, and you think that it can't reach an $80 billion market cap when we look at these projects. This is utilizing global risk intelligence provider for agriculture. It's going to enable data-driven financial and environmental services. A lot of these are doing incredible things as well. This is a healthcare, provider here. We think software should be safe and honest. This is going to be utilized in healthcare facilities. It's going to be utilized in agriculture. At the end of the day, Hbar is going to be everywhere and anywhere that you look. This is growing at a rapid pace, and you might argue and say, why isn't the price moving, right? Why isn't the price moving? All of these projects that are being built on Hbar right now, most of the really big bullish news is locked behind an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. If anybody isn't in business and doesn't know what an NDA is, basically they can't disclose any information legally until the other company's legal team tells them that they can. So a lot of the bullishness that we're not seeing is locked behind closed doors. The value's locked right now, but when it gets unlocked, you will already be too late to the party to realize how big Hbar is. That is why I say, be patient. You are in a sound project. There is no risk right now. Investing at these levels right now is low risk, high reward. Yes, we could go lower if Bitcoin decides to do that relief pullback like I mentioned, but I am buying at these levels as well. If I take a loss, or if you guys take a loss, I'm taking a loss as well. But I am not worried at all because, listen, at this type of growth, with what it's doing and the vision behind Hedera, it is incredibly bullish, and it's so undervalued to the point where I can't even describe it anymore without just sounding like a broken record, right? Because I've talked about it multiple times before. It's almost like when I was talking about Matic, right? I was talking about Matic at 30 cents. I talked about it even before then, and a lot of people didn't listen. They said the price isn't moving, it's pulling back, I'm selling. I might have taken a loss on it, whatever. And that's what I'm talking about. Not everybody in this game is a winner. But I tell you right now, if you guys are patient, you will be one. Patience wins overall. If you can't hold for 5 months, but you could go work a job for 5 years and accept that low grade quality payment for your hard work and dedication, then why can't you dedicate yourself and put the time in to have a project like Hbar build and scale at these massive rates to make you a ton of cash at the end of the day? But nonetheless, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. If you guys do want more free content, you guys can follow me on Twitter at NCashOfficial, and you guys could also join the Discord for free down in the description below. This has been Nick. Peace out.